Pokemon Legends Arceus, or from here on out, Legends, is the latest entry in everyone's favorite collectible monster franchise. And for what it's worth, it's an incredible entry that challenges the status quo and provides an experience that I think many Poke fans, young and old, have actually been asking for. It's not completely free of issues, but while I'm usually the last one to condone mediocrity or half-assing a project, I think it's really important to reinforce that this is the direction most people wanted the series to head. I'm Mr. RAGER, and this is RAGER Reviews. So you found my channel, but you thought, man, I like this guy's content, but I'm just not going to subscribe. I'm just going to watch the stuff and then leave. You couldn't just click the button. You just had to, you'd watch the thing and then you'd go. Is that what it is? Not gonna leave old Mr. RAGER a subscription? You're better than that, huh? Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Legends is set in the Hisui region, and if you've never heard of that as a Pokemon fan, that's not a surprise. Hisui is the Sinnoh region from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, just far in the past. Because of that, the player finds themselves in a relatively uninhabited region. There are people around for sure, and Jubilife Village does exist as a central hub, but this is where any real familiarity with Diamond and Pearl players will probably end. Hisui is, unfortunately, both the star of the show and one of the game's biggest drawbacks. It's a semi-open world, more on that in a moment, that draws inspiration from Breath of the Wild and does try to impart that same sense of wonder as far as places you could go and things you might see. Pokemon wander the overworld in places that make sense related to their type and what we know about them. And they react to your existence, sometimes fleeing, sometimes getting aggressive, and sometimes simply stopping to say hello. As you travel, though, you start to find that this world is free of major landmarks and side activities. For some, this might be a problem. Pokemon in this long-forgotten Hisui region do have some never-before-seen variants that you can discover, including each of the starters' final evolutions getting a new look. If you've seen some of my other videos on the topic, you know that I'm none too pleased about the look of Typhlosion, but otherwise these have added an interesting layer of new discovery to what is otherwise pretty standard Pokemon fare. I'm thrilled to have Cyndaquil's starter option in this game, though I'm a bit biased because he's always been my favorite start. Growlithe also has a new form that caused quite a bit of a stir online. Regarding my previous semi-open world comment, Hisui is broken into segments that are not all interconnected. You must choose to start an expedition and go to one of these specific segments at a time. Each segment is large enough for sure, so there's not necessarily any issue with this, but for those that are looking for a true open world experience, Legends simply isn't it. Hisui is stylistically a bit underwhelming as well. Legends' art style is cel-shaded, and while I don't think anyone expected the game to suddenly shift the series to hyper-realism, there are some moments where you find the low-res nature of certain textures and objects to be extremely immersion-breaking. Especially since, in many regards, Pokemon in this game look their best ever. They're incredibly animated with expression and superb effects around their movesets. The difference between the Mons and their environment can be very stark at times. The gameplay loop in Legends, though it can be repetitive at times, thankfully delivers on what fans of the series have been clamoring over since the release of Pokemon Colosseum, and its good but not earth-shattering experience. Pokemon being overworld entities that you can choose to engage with as you see fit isn't brand new, but it's never been done quite this seamlessly. You can throw a Pokeball whenever you want, and in fact are encouraged to do so. If you want to fight, pick which of your party you want to do battle with and send it out, or use a variety of lures and other items to interact with wild Mons. In my opinion, it has never felt this good to be a Pokemon trainer. Your goal in this game is to complete the first ever Pokedex, no longer a device but a book, and you do so by catching and fighting Pokemon over and over until you have a good understanding of them. While this might be a bit repetitive, it does give you much more to do. Checklist completionists will love this, and I think it's a great way to encourage players to stay out in the overworld and engage with wild Pokemon. Along with this task comes story-driven boss battles that are a brand new Pokemon experience. I won't go into too much spoilers here, but I'll just say that they're a great addition to the Pokemon experience. It must be said that the story does leave a lot to be desired, and I haven't even finished the game yet. Pokemon games are seldom riveting, but at least with Colosseum and XD we saw that Game Freak was capable of a more mature story, sans Shadow Pokemon. I think a strong plot would certainly advance this game's standing with many people, especially since previous entities were mostly supported by the gyms and League as a central narrative. So, that's Pokemon Legends Arceus in a nutshell, and here's my raging review. Legends is a fun experience that kept me entertained, and I'm still playing it. I think it does so many things right, and I'm hopeful that the series as a whole turns in this direction. I'd love a Pokemon game that has multiple regions, gyms, leagues, and has this overworld experience. Oh, and keep the crafting. That said, this certainly seems like a case of MVP, or minimum viable product, being put out by Game Freak. There is so much room for improvement and additional content, and we know they have the resources to have answered 90% of the complaints that are out there about this game. In future entries, I hope to see a more fleshed out, lived-in world, more partner/mount Pokemon, and more intelligent AI for the overworld Pokemon. Think of sending out a party Pikachu in the overworld to have it calm down a wild one. Again, there's so much opportunity here. Overall, I rate this 7 out of 10 fireballs. An excellent new entry in a storied franchise with a ton of room for growth that I hope Game Freak capitalizes on. Have you played Pokemon Legends Arceus? What did you think? Do you agree with my rating? Let me know in the comment. Thank you so much for watching this video, and be sure to like it, subscribe, and if you really enjoyed it, share with your friends. Keep raging, everybody. Thank you.